1, 2, 3. Alright, so this is my first live commentary, just my first Rainbow Cup tournament, first tournament I've ever gone to. It's match 1 coming in. So going in, my team was a Charizard, Fortress, Venusaur, Azumarill, Executor, and Quagsire. So 4 super meta things, and then 2 somewhat off meta Pokemon. And so the first match, I'm starting out Charizard, Quag, Venusaur, obviously just standard movesets. Quagsire knows Stone Edge and Acid Spray because that's the one that people debate on, but I prefer to run Acid Spray just in case. For blocks, I think it's really helpful. Get something done even if they use a shield. Just waiting on him to start. While we're waiting, I'm going to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment any questions if you're curious about anything, and here we go. And so my first matchup goes really well for me. It's Charizard Venusaur. He immediately switches out and goes Quag, which is to be expected, so I go in Venusaur. Now I just have straight up direct advantage. This, I'm not sure what this is going to be. It ends up being a Sludge Bomb. It hits pretty hard. Would have been nice to shield that, but not the end of the world. I'm going to pop Frenzy Plant here. I expect him to shield it, but if he doesn't, this will just KO. He does shield it, and from here, I'm just going to farm up my next charge move. He pops another move. This is going to be a Sludge Bomb just based on how fast he built it up, and it was. And like I said, from here, just farm. And now I have Frenzy Plant or Sludge Bomb ready to go. I'm going to pop Sludge Bomb. I'm expecting this to either be Venusaur or Charizard. It is Charizard. Or it is Venusaur, I'm sorry. So he shields it there. He is out of shields. I still have 1. I could shield here, get off my other charge move. I elect not to. Immediately go Charizard. Try to shorten his switch clock as much as possible. Or lengthen, I should say. Go for the Blast Burn. This will kill. Blast Burn hits like an absolute truck, and Venusaur is weak to it. And now I have 1 shield. It's a Charizard v Charizard. Just a direct 1v1, so I should win this matchup relatively easily. I'm not going to bother trying to use Dragon Claw. I'm not going to shield here. Ends up being his Dragon Claw. I assume he was trying to shield bait me. And his Charizard is almost dead. And I take the win in round 1. That's a good start for me. That's my first game of any tournament, so really got the nerves out of there. Now we're picking round 2. I did end up mostly staying with my core 4 of Charizard, Venusaur, Quagsire, and Fortress. I felt they were the strongest mons in the meta, and they covered more or less everything together. I treated Fortress and Charizard kind of interchangeably. Occasionally they ended up on the same team, but more they kind of covered the same bases. I didn't feel like it was super useful running them together. And so here, this is the same team. I think it's in a different order. And we'll see how this goes. So my Venusaur, his Quag. So I have a direct advantage here. Again, this is a great start for me. He's going to farm a couple quick moves, and I think he's going to switch out. Yep. Goes Charizard. I immediately switch to my Quag, and again, this is a straight up advantage. Pops Blast Burn. I did not shield it. Go for the Stone Edge. He's going to have to shield this. I assume he knows it's Stone Edge. I probably should have gone for Acid Spray just to keep things a little iffy, but I went a little too formulaic, and it really cost me here. Here I should shield, and I do. Pops Claw. I'm going to get this Stone Edge off. he's going to shield this, and now he is officially out of shields. So it's one shield to none. I'm not gonna burn a shield here. I wouldn't get to a Stone Edge again anyways. And I go Charizard. So now it's 3-2, but I have one more shield, and his third is rather weak. And here, this is where I lose the fight. This is 100%. If I shield here, I would win this fight. I'm quite confident in saying that. But all of a sudden, my Charizard has almost no health left. Take out his Charizard. He comes back in with his Quagsire. I get this Dragon Claw off. It does decent damage. But yeah, his Quag's in the yellow. But my Charizard is down, and you're going to see why that costs me in a second. I'm going to burn the shield here because my Venusaur needs to stay alive. It's my last mon. There's no choice in that. My goal here is just to farm. I'm going to have to tank this. I'm out of shields. Another Sludge Bomb. It's going to hurt, but it wouldn't matter because, and this is why I say burning the Charizard cost me the fight. There is no way that my Venusaur is going to take out that fortress. I have 2 charge moves built up right away. I don't know why I went for a Sludge Bomb. Maybe I just thought it didn't matter because I was lost anyways, which I had. Frenzy Plant doesn't do very much either. And I'm going to lose game 2. And here I am switching up my team. I didn't have any teams pre-built for this, which I realized right as the first game was starting. I was like, oh crap, I completely forgot to set up my team. So I'm going to set up Fortress as the lead. Charizard, and I think Quag. Yep. And one thing I do is I make it so that my last mon, it's always the second on the switch out, is the one that covers the first one's weaknesses. So, for example, there you see Fortress leads and Quagsire is last. That's because Quagsire is the Charizard or the general fire type counter. I don't want that. I don't want to have to think about where I switch. So I make sure the counter to my lead's counter, is always last. And he comes in Fortress. It's an even fight. His is shiny, so, you know, a little cooler. But this is just a straight up 1v1. I know this has to be Heavy Slam, and the reason I know that is because I wasn't built up yet on my Earthquake or my Rock Tomb. I was still a couple quick moves away, even on the Rock Tomb. And so I knew that was Heavy Slam, so I didn't have to shield it. Here comes Quake, and he tanks it, and he instantly realizes that may have not been the best idea. So my Fortress goes down. I have a straight-up advantage here right now. My Fortress is still alive. I should switch out here. I didn't. I should have insta-switched out, expecting the Charizard. I go into my Quag. Take the Dragon Claw, which is pretty solid. Didn't do much damage. I'm going to come in with the Stone Edge. Again, I didn't mix it up here at all, and he knew it was coming. Should have tried using Acid Sprays here. Burn my shield here, expecting Blast Burn. It is Blast Burn. Come in with another Stone Edge. Or no, I'm sorry, an Acid Spray. I do mix it up here. I apologize. And he shields it. So he's down a shield. I should shield this here. I don't. Sets my Quag very low. Another Stone Edge would have been a killer on his Charizard. And just had me in a great position. And that right here, I pop a shield, and it's Claw. So, kind of sucks, but not the end of the world. I'm going to use Claw here because it's going to take out his Charizard anyways. And here comes Quag. Go for the Blast Burn. And this Stone Edge is going to hurt. There goes Charizard. And now I'm down. So yeah, I lose match 1, take 1 game, take the first game, and then lose the next 2. And here, I apologize. I completely forgot. This is going to happen for the next match as well. I forgot to record the first. I did win the first here. I win the first in the next one as well, but I didn't record them. So right now, I'm up 1-0. Go Charizard for my mid slot. Here, I'm just kind of screwing around. I don't want my opponent to think I'm just using the same team over and over again, so I try to make it look like I'm changing things up a bit. I do end up leading Fortress, but running the same team. Or maybe, do I change that? Oh, okay, yeah. I just make it so that, once again, counter to my counter, which in this case is the even matchup to my counter. This I walk in, direct advantage. Executor being Grass Psychic really, really can't take bug hits. And it's, you can see half its health was gone instantly. Walks in Fortress, and I could just go with my Fortress there. As you can see here, I actually lose connection, which sucked. The guy was nice enough to just kind of pause for a second, but it did happen. He comes in. I'm assuming this was a Stone Edge. I was assuming this was Stone Edge. I was right, or it's not Stone Edge, Rock Tomb. So I block it. I can't afford to take it, and all of a sudden you can see my connection come back. You can see I had lost it. Top. I didn't know there was Wi-Fi here right away. I'm just gonna farm here. Just gonna get those moves ready to go. I've got more than a Blast Burn built up. Second one I think is about half built right now. And he comes in. I don't know why I didn't use quick moves like on the come in, but it's okay. Go with a Blast Burn. If I use Dragon Claw on a Azumarill, you think Blast Burn does no damage to a Azumarill. That's a double resist. With the Dragon Claw, I should say, is a double resist. Blast Burn is single resisted, and also it was just a really, really powerful move. So I do burn a shield and get about a third of his Azumarill's health. I'm not going to burn my own shield on that sliver of health, especially in the losing matchup already. I go Venusaur, and Venusaur Azumarill is a dangerous matchup. You might think you're safe because, oh, you know, Grass Poison, Water Fairy, you have a direct advantage. That Fairy type knows Ice Beam. You do not want to take an Azumarill's Ice Beam with your Venusaur. So his other shield's gone. I am fully expecting this Ice Beam here. I put up the shield, and then I am right, and it's very good that I shielded that, because if I had not, my Venusaur, I don't think would have died, but man, it would have been low. I'm just going to quick use this to farm. I don't expect him to build up another one. He doesn't. And comes in with the Executor, which is a losing matchup, but I already have a Sludge Bomb built up. This is going to be super effective, and doesn't matter, even though Executor wins that fight mostly. And now his Azumarill comes in. It didn't actually die. He switched it out with very, very little health left. Comes in with the Ice Beam, but it's not going to matter. Fortress has almost all of its health left. A couple charge moves almost built up completely. And that is match 2, game 2 of match 2. I won game 1, so that's a 2-0, and this is where match 3 starts. Once again, I screw up. You notice it says you win twice in a row because I completely forgot to record the first game. Again, my apologies. This was my first tournament I've ever been to, so I was nervous and focusing on other things, completely forgetting to record. Again, I won game 1, so this is another game 2 on a 1-0 set. And here, I have Charizard, Fortress, and Venusaur loaded up. I think I just switched the order here. Yeah, just switch Venusaur to Fortress. Switch them around. And here we go. Venusaur comes in. Quagsire, again, great matchup. I got very lucky that night with the fantastic matchups. He immediately switches out to his Charizard. I switch to my Charizard. Oh, no, I don't. I screwed up. I thought I was going to switch to my Charizard. I thought I was going to as well. I just let the Fortress die. It's not going to that matchup. I'm not going to burn a shield on it. And so now it's essentially just he has a 2-0 advantage, or a 3-2 advantage with both of us running both shields. He comes in. I knew this was Dragon Claw because he hadn't built up. There wasn't the time to build up a Blast Burn yet. At least I don't think there was. And I come in, tank it, Blast Burn him. He doesn't tank it. He burns a shield. This is going to be another Dragon Claw, but I can't afford to take that. It will knock me out. I go for the Dragon Claw here because he's low enough health where trying to build to another Blast Burn is a bad idea. And it does. I think that just barely knocked out. It's hard to tell exactly, but. And now it's 2-1. I do get this Dragon Claw off just because the double resistance from Charizard from those Vine Whips or Razor Leafs, whatever he's running. So I do tank a little bit out of that Venusaur, but here is where I come in with an advantage. Because I have one shield left, and my Venusaur has a Sludge Bomb almost ready to go. It's almost ready, boom. And this will knock out. Super effective Sludge Bomb on his Venusaur. And what has he got left? Quag. I only win this matchup because his lineup was very weak to Venusaur. I got very lucky with the misclick and putting in my Fortress against his Charizard. So, got a bit lucky. So, I win match 3. I am 2-1 overall in matches, and I 2-0'd this match going into match 4. And this is match 4. I believe this guy was undefeated going into my fight. He was a great player. He had a very interesting lineup. He ran Ninetales instead of Charizard. A couple other interesting choices. I believe he also ran a Lantern, which I think is really a good choice. Really took his time as well. Once again, I'm going to say like, comment, subscribe. Ask any questions in the comments. I love hearing what other people think or hearing their ideas on what I could run, or questions as to why I did something. And here it goes. I lead Quag, he leads Mantine. That's right. This is a matchup where my quick moves are doing basically no damage, but he has to be really worried about the Stone Edge coming in. I go for an Acid Spray, but he beats me to the punch. Not gonna shield it. Aerial Ace isn't a super effective, or isn't a super great move. The other move that Mantine runs wasn't very good. And so he switched out. I immediately go Fortress into that Venusaur just for the direct advantage. I wasn't really sure why he switched out. I'm not going to shield this. Doesn't matter if it's Frenzy Plant. Doesn't matter if it's Sludge Bomb. It's going to do very little damage to Fortress. He has another one already built up. He had a lot of energy. And Fortress tanks it like a champ because Fortress. I do go for the Earthquake here. I didn't want to end up burning my Fortress to the speed at which he built up charge moves. I didn't want to burn a lot of shields either. He didn't shield that Earthquake, and took out his Venusaur. Wait for him to decide, and comes in Mantine. And I'm okay with this. And you're going to wonder why I might shield here, why I might shield this Aerial Ace with Fortress. And that's because I was just barely on pace to get to this Rock Tomb. And I get to it. He's either going to have to shield it or sack his Mantine. And he shields it. So now he's got no shields. It's 2 mons to 2. I can't put Venusaur in here, but I am going to slowly wait out, just get as much time out of my switch clock as possible. And come in immediately Stone Edge. I had one quick move to build up a Stone Edge. And there goes Mantine. He comes in Ninetales again, doing super effective Mud Slaps, doing super effective Stone Edges. And I am not going to shield this. You might wonder why I would leave my Venusaur against Ninetales, even with somewhat a good amount of health. And that's just because I didn't want um, to shield it and then him take out my Quag if something happened. I don't know. And all of a sudden, my Venusaur just walks into super effective fire moves. So I let my Quag die and just let my Venusaur just those little chip moves. Took it out. And here, I'm actually going to run the exact same lineup. I felt it was extremely strong against the team he had built, just everything he had set up. But I am going to screw around a bit here. He definitely took his time thinking about things, and I didn't want him to think, I didn't want him to notice I was running the same lineup right away. So I took my time. I did some typing. I moved around on the screen a bit. I just did a lot of clicking on my screen because I didn't want him to realize that I was just running the same team over and over again. There you can see the Azumarill and Executor that never ended up getting run. They were more bait than anything. I just felt the core 4 was so much stronger than everything else I didn't feel like running. The only thing else that I considered was Lantern, but I didn't have a good Lantern yet that I felt was worth powering up and buying a second charge move on, so I forewent that for and as essentially a beta Azumarill. Also, it's shiny, so yeah, why not? Why not put that on the team? All right, like I said, he really took his time. Here we go. I am on Wi-Fi now. If you haven't noticed, I found out there was Wi-Fi there. This is a great matchup for me. Venusaur doesn't care about anything or Lantern does. Switches Venusaur for a neutral matchup. And I could have stayed in the neutral matchup. I decided to go Fortress. Just take the advantage, even though it uses up my switch. Again, no reason to block whatever's coming at me. Even Frenzy Plant, it's resisted, does very little damage. Again, this Venusaur, just really fast energy building here. So, once again, one thing I do here is I do a little more building and then I Rock Tomb. The reason I Rock Tomb was because I either felt he was going to shield, which he does, or he was low enough health where the Rock Tomb probably kills anyways. And so I am going to burn a shield here. I don't want to drop my Fortress to this Venusaur. I don't have a Charizard in the back to take out that Venusaur if I don't, and my Quagsire cannot afford to deal with it. I guessed on the charge move. I did kind of guess wrong with a Rock Tomb against a Lantern, but he shielded anyway, so it worked out. Used a little bit less energy, but Earthquake would have been preferred. But now he's out of shields. And so him out of shields. We both froze here for a second. As you can see, I'm just clicking away. It's not doing anything. Same thing's happening to him. We come back. He's out of shield. This Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant is like Blast Burn, where it absolutely hits like a truck and just drops the Lantern. Here comes Ninetales. This isn't a great matchup for me, but Venusaur does have Sludge Bomb. Had a decent amount of charge built up already, so it gets it off. And takes his Ninetales well into the yellow. He's going to Psyshock here. I'm going to take it. That's fine, because I got Quag in the back. I'm going to go for the Acid Spray here. He's so low. I honestly thought this would knock out. It doesn't. That's a little tip that I didn't know right away. He still has a sliver of health left. That, just so you know, if you're ever going to be like, oh, my Acid Spray is going to... It's little damage, but it's something. Make sure you don't set your phone down, because Acid Spray does almost no damage. The power of lowering his defenses is strong, but don't rely on your Acid Spray to quite knock out. This is a terrible start for me in the next match. This is, by the way, match 5 now. So I switch into my Charizard. Go Quag. He goes Quag. So I am in a directly losing matchup, but I'm going to try to burn shield here. Doesn't fall for it. Oh well. Not going to try to do it again. This is obviously Stone Edge. Well, I shouldn't say obviously, but it's more than likely Stone Edge. And it was. My shielded. Good choice. Here comes Blast Burn. I don't know if he's going to shield again. I'm very unsure of it at this point. He does not. And all of a sudden, his Quagsire is very low. And with Quagsire being very low and now out, my Charizard can more or less run rampant. Puts in his Charizard. I'm going to Blast Burn it. Wonder if he shields. Does he shield? Does he shield? He does. So now he's one shield. And like I said before, even though this is Dragon Claw, I'm okay with shielding this because his Charizard counter is down, which means my Charizard can run rampant on his team. That's something that I found was very powerful, is once you take out their counter to one of your Mons, you can really invest your shields into it because it will run rampant on the rest of the team. I take the Rock Tomb. My Charizard was low anyways. That's fine. I'm going to feint him with quick moves here. Fortress takes it out. And that closes out game 1 of match 5. We're going to come in here. The only thing I switch is I set the Quagsire up in the back. And I'm ready to go. Alright. Start with Venusaur. He leads Fortress again. Really, really bad start for me. I go my Fortress. Just try to mirror. I don't have a direct Fortress counter right now because I switched out the Charizard. So my best bet's the mirror match. He's going to do this. Ends up being Quake. I very much shielded at the last second. I was extremely unsure of what to pick. I go for my Earthquake. He shields it. And we're back to Bug Bites. I am slightly ahead here, so I think his might not have been fully powered up, or maybe just the IVs worked out where mine was doing a little more damage. Not exactly sure why I was so far ahead. He's going to Quake again. I'm going to burn my other shield. So now he's got one shield, I got none. Puts in Lantern. Again, I guess wrong. What's coming in? They Lantern. So Lantern takes a Rock Tomb. And right now, I am going to very much do a last second switch. Dangerous switch to make, really. And right here, I don't have any shields. Even if I did, I wouldn't shield this because no matter what that Lantern does, Venusaur is going to resist it. Come in with the Frenzy Plant. He burns his last shield. Probably not the best choice because I'm going to feint with quick moves here anyways. And now, all of a sudden, I have a charge move ready to go for whatever walks in next. I guess Sludge Bomb works out for me that it's Meganium. Entirely a guess. I didn't know what he had coming right away. And that Meganium walks in and takes a ton of damage. He's got no shields. Switch into Fortress. Pop the Rock to him immediately because I wasn't expecting it to live. He also switched his Fortress at the time, so his Fortress walked into a Rock Tomb and basically insta-fainted. Took one more quick move. And my Fortress just gets to do, again, like one more quick move to his Meganium. And this is a scary matchup because he's really low, but if he gets that Frenzy Plant, my Quagsire is gone. But I win. That was the tournament for me. I went 4-1. I lost only 2 matches. And that is that. I had a great time. It was my first tournament, so nerves, but it went well, and I enjoyed it a lot. I'll be definitely going to more tournaments. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.